Honorable Speaker.
Member for Carney Central. Or member for Woodbridge West.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity to contribute to this bill, an act to make jurisdiction for criminal matters exercisable in a division of the High Court to be known as a criminal division, and to make jurisdiction for criminal and traffic matters exercisable in a division of summary courts to be known as the district criminal and traffic courts, and to make provision for matters connected therewith. Madam Speaker, the member for St. Joseph ended up with clause 18. And the honorable member listed out a series, a whole plethora of units that the Criminal and Traffic Court Administration Department should comprise. He listed a Human Resource Management Unit, a Finance and Accounts Unit, Fines and Fees Unit, and the list went on, Madam Speaker. And when I listened to the honorable member, this list reminded me of an a la carte menu. You enter a Michelin star restaurant, Madam Speaker, and you have a dapper waiter comes in with sartorial elegance and hands you this menu.
In French.
And Madam Speaker, you are looking at this menu and you're looking at the cost. You're in a Michelin star restaurant, you realize you can't really buy anything here.
Champagne taste and movie budget.
Madam Speaker, this thing will cost money. If you have to establish all these units, which I believe some of these are already existing at the criminal jurisdiction, are we going to duplicate and have parallel bodies? We are not sure what is happening with this. And I premise my contribution by talking about all these various units. And how are you going to have all these various units, Madam Speaker, when the judiciary's finances for the fiscal year 2017 to 2018, at page 13 to 17, the estimates for recurrent expenditure, there was a decrease of over $17 million. And when we look through, you're seeing that there was a decrease of close to $6 million for accommodation, for rental of offices, for storage. When you look at contract employment, Madam Speaker, there was a decrease of over $5 million.
Wow.
And when you look at training, you had an increase of $50,000. So who are these persons to be trained to fill these various units with $50,000, Madam Speaker? When you look at repairs and maintenance for the buildings, a decrease of $3 million. Office equipment, a small, minute increase. Madam Speaker, this is what I'm going to ask the honorable member. You are planning to do all these things, and I'm asking simply, in which janam, in which time period was this thing going to be achieved? In which time period, Madam Speaker? Madam Speaker, I will also like to continue with the member for St. Joseph and his contribution.
No. Have mercy. Have mercy.
Madam Speaker, on the 13th of the 4th, 2018, the member for St. Joseph said, "It was not my intention to join the debate here today."
And it shouldn't.
And Madam Speaker, The honorable member went on to say, I have institutional memory. And I counted 6 times he said he had institutional memory. And Madam Speaker, the contribution that he made, he tried to rebut Oropouche East. And Madam Speaker, I will advise my friend that if you have no intention to join a debate, be seated.
Yes.
Be seated.
Good advice,
Because, Madam Speaker, the honorable member tried so hard to bring down Oropouche East. Madam Speaker, but the contribution, his pronouncements, his advancements, Madam Speaker, I must say were insanely misleading.
Oh my God.
Insanely misleading.
Please, let's be parliamentary, okay? Please. Let's be parliamentary and just withdraw that. You can say it another way.
His contributions, Madam Speaker, were just misconstrued. It was misconstrued. Madam Speaker,
well done.
Madam Speaker, I will continue. The honorable member said, the member for Oropouche East went on at length, ad nauseam, about the role of the Chief Justice and who is going to appoint these masters. Madam Speaker, the issue at Clause 7 had nothing to do with appointment of masters. It has to do with the assignment of puny judges and masters. It had nothing to do with appointment, but assignment. And we must not confuse what is appointment and what is assignment. Madam Speaker, a master, like if I were to read, Madam Speaker, Clause 7 of the bill, Clause 7 says, the Chief Justice may assign to the criminal court such puny judges and masters as he thinks fit. And Madam Speaker, we went on, the other part 2 said, a puny judge or master assigned to the criminal court under subsection 1 may apply to the Chief Justice for reassignment to any court within the High Court. Madam Speaker, when a Chief Justice has to assign puny judges and masters, would there be any oversight in the assignment? Because we already know there are certain issues with the selection of judges. Because of the Judicial and Legal Service Commission, we have certain issues raised by judges, and that is well enshrined in the Constitution. But would there be an oversight with the assignment of puny judges and masters? Because another clause here says that a master may also have the function of a criminal court judge. If we were to turn to 10.2, Madam Speaker, you'd see a criminal court master should have the same effect as it had been made by a criminal court judge. And Madam Speaker, a master is much lower in layman's term than a judge. A master could sit as a judge in chambers, but a master is also restricted by statute. A judge has original jurisdiction. A master cannot imprison a person. A master cannot grant interlocutory injunctions. So how is it then, Madam Speaker, that a master can have the equal function as a judge?
Misconceived.
And Madam Speaker, this may lead also to judicial appeals. If a master were to pass certain decisions, you will have perhaps a floodgate of appeals with respect to these. Madam Speaker, even right now at the assizes at San Fernando, you have a master who is listening and taking jury exemptions, a master. And what happens because the master doesn't have the type of experience at the criminal assizes, Madam Speaker, you have, what you have, Madam Speaker, is that you have objections on both State Counsel and you have objections, Madam Speaker, from the Defense Counsel. So what happens in totality is that you may have 10 and 12 exemptions to be heard before master. And because there are so many objections, all the cases now are lumped before the judge. So what you're actually doing, you're duplicating work and you're clogging up good judicial time. So those cases should have initially been placed before a judge and not a master. Madam Speaker, the Honourable Member again for St. Joseph, page 3 of his Hansard said, I don't know why the UNC are so afraid of legislation about follow the money. Why? Why are they so afraid? And I'm saying to the Honourable Member, we are not afraid here. Bring it on. Because we want legislation to follow the money, because we need to follow the money for the $100 million at A&V drilling. We need to follow that money. We need to follow the money for the World GTL, Madam Speaker. That is what we need to do, the billions of dollars. So that's why we need legislation like that. Madam Speaker, the Honourable Member also spoke about Clause 14. Clause 14 says, a district criminal and traffic court may conduct hearings by telephone, video conference, or any other appropriate electronic means. That is Clause 14. Madam Speaker, and went on to say Oropouche East, it says usual comedic styling. Want to make a joke out of this. Madam Speaker, this is really a comedy. This is really a comedy. Can't anyone do cross-examination or lead evidence over phone? Which matter can be done if you have to lead evidence? Madam Speaker, a state counsel can lead evidence over phone? Can you do cross-examination over a phone?
Yeah, phony evidence.
How in the first place, Madam Speaker, you know the accused on the other side is the said accused over a telephone?
I say phony evidence.
Madam Speaker, also if you're doing, trying to talk over phone to get information, Madam Speaker, those recordings, you can be incriminated. Because if they are recorded, perhaps you could be saying things, you're not sure if under duress, but you're saying things and could be recorded and you could be incriminated. So, Madam Speaker, the other part he said, the Honourable Member, he spoke about video conferencing. Yes, video conferencing can assist because you save time in traveling to and fro to the courts. But in video conferencing, Madam Speaker, there's also the inherent problems in video conferencing. Even in the civil arena, if you are doing video conferencing from the judge sitting in Tobago or you're in San Fernando, sometimes you hear the audio, and when you hear audio, you're not seeing the video. And when you hear video, you're not seeing audio. And those are problems that you can encounter. Also, Madam Speaker, video conferencing, if an accused wants to change his plea, he cannot do it via video conferencing because you do not have that confidentiality between a client and an attorney. What you may have via video conferencing may be pieces of disclosure. You will have that via video conferencing. But to materially have an impact on the trial or to deal with the matter effectively, you cannot really do it via video conferencing. Madam Speaker, the other clause that I would like to deal with is Clause 7. I would just like to revert, Madam Speaker, to Clause 7 when we look at the assignment. And I would like to read an article for the assignment from the Delhi court, judges on India's Supreme Court accuse the Chief Justice of bias. This is when you have to deal with assignment of judges. It is from The Economist, January 18, 2018, where the Chief Justice in Indian Delhi Court was accused of partiality.
Honorable member, in terms of the relevance, and I also want to caution you if you're going to try to carry that anywhere with respect to Standing Order 48.8. Okay, so I suggest you leave that and continue.
Sure. The other clause, Madam Speaker, which is really at the preliminary, which is part 1, deals with children court and children matter. Children court means, and I'm reading what it says here, means a children court established under Section 4.1 of the Family and Children Division Act. And what, Madam Speaker, is that how these matters from the High Court and the Magistrate Court, how are these matters deal with children at transition into the family court that deals with children? Because you may have matters that are part heard, you may have matters that are in case management, and you may have some matters that are pre-trial. How are you getting these matters to lump them?
The murmur is growing, and I am getting difficulty in following the contributions. I would like you all to please contain your crosstalk so that I can follow the contribution from the member of Boropuch West. Continue.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Also, Madam Speaker, the Children's Court, how persons from Matlot, persons from Beach, Flanagan Tongue, how are these persons being transported to the family court at Faizabad? Is there some mechanism in place? So these are things we have to iron out of how are they going to do that. Also, Madam Speaker, when I look at the hand side of the Honorable Attorney General, Madam Speaker, the Honorable Attorney General may have the actus reus, Madam Speaker. He may have the mens rea to really fix the criminal justice system, Madam Speaker. But if the various institutions that work in tandem to make this thing effective, there are broken chains and gaps, this bill will be really inconsequential.
Point of order, Madam Speaker. Relevance 48.1. This has nothing to do with the family court. This is about the criminal division of the High Court, not the family court.
Okay, so Honorable Member for Boropuch West, you could continue. I believe you've left the Children's Court and you're now on to how. I really appreciate when we really, have a great sort of discourse between us, but really and truly, let's get on with the business and abide by the standing orders, respect, tolerance, parliamentary behavior. I expect that of all members here. Member for Boropuch West.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Yes, Madam Speaker, let me continue. The Honourable Member, which is the Attorney General, Madam Speaker, whilst he was contributing, the member for Siparia stood up and asked, I'm reading from the hand side, page 13. So I don't know why my friend brought up something relevant, because this is page 13, what the Attorney General had said. And I'm quoting from what he said. The member for Siparia asked, I can see you're saying you're putting 17 persons because you have 17 courts. Yes. How do you envisage to carry this through? Sorry. And the Honorable Attorney General said, These are his words. We are recasting what we have already. We are just cleaning the structures and reporting environment. Madam Speaker, I tried to figure out, you know, when you're doing psychology, they said more than 65% of your conversation is done by body language. They also said you must read what is stated to see if you can, because words can carry different meanings. No matter how much I tried to discern and decipher what was said here, Madam Speaker, I couldn't understand what the Honourable General was saying. And if we were to take the first line, what he said, we are recasting what we have already. What we are recasting, Madam Speaker, we have chaos in the criminal justice system. And I have an article here, the Newsday, Monday, 30th April. Azad Ali, chaos reigns in South Courthouse, Madam Speaker. And I'll just read for you 2 lines. A junior sex system in the High Court to facilitate CPEP contract in a magistrate court. This is what we have Azad Ali had to say about a courthouse in South. Madam Speaker, we have a plethora of problems in the criminal justice system. A plethora of problems. The criminal justice system works like a shift system. That's the reason why the reporter is saying it's like a junior sex system. It's shift. So I'll summarize what happens at the assizes. At the assizes, Madam Speaker, matters are heard, criminal matters are heard, but it must be completed by 12 o'clock. So if you have a state counsel leading evidence, you have a sentence in the air, the matter is adjourned. If a defense counsel is doing cross-examination, a question in the air, the court must adjourn. Because you have to wrap up everything and move, because you have the magistrate taking everything, all their documents, and running across to the assizes in San Fernando. Because what you have the second, the fourth, the fifth, and the sixth courts being accommodated at the Supreme Court. So we have such chaos in San Fernando. That's why we are saying it's like you using it to facilitate a CPEP contract. We have persons in the Medina court in San Fernando, the magistrate's court, Madam Speaker. And in that court, you have a section of the administrative personnel being housed in a juror's room at the assizes. So when jurors want to take their recess and deliberate, I'm not sure where they go. Then we have a part of the magistracy being housed at the marshal section in the High Court. So where do the marshals go to do their administrative work? And Madam Speaker, if you take over the weekend where you have charge cases, over the weekend you have people, accused, being held at the police station across the road from the court. The list that is generated from the magistrate court is done randomly. So you don't know which accused the police is going to bring across. Because you see the police is walking across from the holding cell across to the magistrate court with an accused, and you're not sure which accused. So we have so many problems. My point is, Madam Speaker, why are we doing all this, bringing this bill to cure what, when we already have a system in place where we need to fix? We need to fix what we already have. We have to outfit these courts with the necessary tools. We have to provide that infrastructure. We have to give that training, Madam Speaker, to the personnel so they get that skill set, so they can increase the efficiency at which the court works. And that is what is needed. You just can't even all the time lay bills in Parliament because you want to add to your scorecard. You cannot do that. We have to be practical. Madam Speaker, when we look at clause 24.1, 24.1, Madam Speaker. Clause 24.1 says, the Rules Committee established under Section 77 of the Supreme Court of Judicature Act may make rules of court. A, establishing a special criminal court procedure for the management of case types and offenses referred to in subsection 2, and generally for carrying this act into effect. The Chief Justice may, by practice direction, determine the case types and offenses which are appropriate for the special criminal court procedure provided for in rules of court made under subsection 1. My question, Madam Speaker, is that we already have a bundle which is called the Criminal Procedure Rules of 2016. The Criminal Procedure Rules, Madam Speaker, gives all the guidelines in the management, the case management of cases, the case flow and the case management of cases that come before the court. Here we have 24.1 is stating that you're going to have the Rules Committee to make another set of rules of the court. What are we doing with this? Are we going to run parallel rules? Are we going to run parallel rules, Madam Speaker? Because these rules, the Criminal Procedure Rules, have entire guidelines. It gives you the practice direction. It gives you trial management. It gives you the procedure for entering a guilty plea, Madam Speaker. Even it gives you evidence by admission. They have a whole story here, and yet we have 24.1 is included. So the Rules Committee going to make more rules. To what end? And still have to be guided on that, Madam Speaker. Also, Madam Speaker, the Chief Justice may, by practice discretion, direction, determine the case types. May, it's not mandatory, it's discretionary for the Chief Justice to determine the case types and the offenses which are appropriate for the special criminal court. So, Madam Speaker, what I'm saying is that the same criminal procedure rules have applications for exemption for jury service. Same thing what we talk about masters doing. And we have it in section 18 in the criminal procedure rules already. So again, I'm asking who is going to vet these rules, and if these rules committee will consult with perhaps other stakeholders or the attorneys who practice in the criminal justice system. So, Madam Speaker, when we look at this bill before us, Madam Speaker, we know that the most important we can all agree that crime really, Madam Speaker, is one of the biggest problems affecting the lives of the people of this country. We know that we no longer feel safe in our own homes. We are afraid, Madam Speaker, for the safety of our loved ones. And we cannot even walk the streets without thinking that perhaps we may be kidnapped. As we have seen, Madam Speaker, a few days ago, a child sexually assaulted, a pastor chopped, mothers and daughters slaughtered. And Madam Speaker, yes, we need crime bills. We need bills to see how we could bring things into proper perspective and bring certain sanity to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. But we know, Madam Speaker, we're in a crisis when we have the Honorable Prime Minister addressing the Commonwealth leaders and advising them not to do anything that is untoward. With respect to travel advice.
One, please. What is the relevance?
Okay, so, member, I've given you a lot of leeway, and I think now you should really concentrate on the bill. Try and tie what you're saying into this bill that is before us. Please continue.
So, Madam Speaker, we are in what you call the fourth industrial revolution. And my question is, at the High Court, when matters, the judge is listening to a trial, I'm asking, if we're in the fourth industrial revolution where we have ICTs and robotics, and so why is it that judges still have to do long handwriting? Right? So
what provision of the bill you're relating what you're saying to, please?
Speaker, I'm talking about the problems that we are facing at the magistrate courts and how we should fix what we have because judges are still doing long handwriting.
So, Madam Speaker, your original 30 minutes are now spent. You're entitled to 15 more minutes. I would say this. This is not a debate about how the criminal justice system works. This is with respect to a bill which is intended to create a special division. So that what I would like you to focus on is on the bill, and maybe what you want to say, maybe you can tie it to the bill. But it's not a general discourse on how the criminal justice system works, how the magistracy works or doesn't work. Please, continue.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Honorable Attorney General had said that there are approximately 100,000 matters before the criminal court. And what we are saying, Madam Speaker, when we pass bills, yes, we want to expedite the matters. And in whatever way these bills can be used to expedite the matters, we on this side, we will support and we would give full support for any bill that is laid here to help in expedition of the matters. I thank you.
Member for Aruka Maloney.
Madam Speaker, I'm adjourning the House. If that's why you're calling me, I will.
Are there any other speakers?
To adjourn the House, yes. Madam Speaker, I beg to move that this House do now adjourn to Thursday, the 10th day of May. Thursday, the House do now adjourn to Thursday, the 10th day of May at 10 a.m. And Madam Speaker, I would like to also indicate that on Tuesday, we will be here at 1:30 to proceed with the Standing Finance Committee, of which my colleagues already have notice. Yes.
Honorable members, the question is that this House do now adjourn to Thursday, 10th of May 2018 at 10 a.m. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any against? The ayes have it. This House now stands adjourned to Thursday, 10th May 2018 at 10 a.m.